This video is the morals of True Beauty on Webtoon. If you are not familiar, True Beauty is a series on Webtoon spanning 40 plus quote unquote episodes, since it is digital media, um, which in terms of a handheld book would be chapters, and each chapter follows the journey of Joyen, who is the main character, who in episode zero, which makes no sense to name a episode zero. That would be what is commonly known as a prologue, which is before the events of the book. But I digress. It's just um, my little gripe with online content in that they are so far removed from handheld books that the art of books and the way that and the linguistic language of books is mute and void in the online sphere. Instead of saying prologue and epilogue anymore, you say episode zero or chapter zero, which zero means nothing. Zero is the absence of a number. You don't start 0, 1, 2, 3. You say 1, 2, 3. You don't say 10 and after 10 once you're finished counting, or wherever you choose to end. But I digress. So, in this web series, you follow the main character, Ju Yin, as she transitions from middle school to high school, wearing makeup every time she goes to school and every time she goes out, and thinks there will be people around to look at her, which is anytime you go out. Or at least 95% of the time she goes out. If she's going out with her family, or pretty much only her family. If she goes out with her family, she won't wear makeup. Or if she's going to a small shop or somewhere where that's not so populated, and she doesn't think she'll be posted online, then she doesn't wear makeup. So, fast forward to the episode that I'm at and the episode that I'm going to stay at. Noted there is at least 40, so 40 plus episodes that are available using Daily Pass, which is each day you get 2 passes to read each chapter, quote unquote, episode. So, Julian, up to chapter 14, is going on a blind date with someone random because the antagonist, and I'm not really interested in her name, but you can research it, the antagonist of True Beauty on Webtoon. But the point is that the antagonist is prettier, in quotes, than Julian. She has a more Western beauty to her, a Western aura of beauty to her. She is skinnier, she posts workout pictures of herself. The immediate thing that the main character, Joying, says is, oh, she's prettier than me. That even though she bumped into her, she gets on, I do believe, um, she gets on the ground and she starts wiping up the food that she spilled. But Juyin, the main character, was the one who was not looked into. So that's really important for their relationship dynamic, the motif, as it's called, how the character is constantly acting around and builds on their their growth or their downfall of a character. So the motif is that she's really polite, she's really nice, and oftentimes just wants to make everyone like her. So, fast forward to the blind date. The reason that antagonist is doing this is because she thinks she is a like someone to compete with for the love interest of the main dude, the main guy. Um, Again, I don't know his name, but that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to construct it and bring into question the morals of this comic. Webtoon is the new Wattpad or AO3, if you do not know what those are. Um, and I'm going to not assume that you don't know what they are, but give information on it based on the fact that not everyone knows. As new things grow and new and old things are replaced with newer things, not everyone that watches this video will know what Webtoon or AO3 are. Even on Tumblr and 4chan, um, there have been people posting like snippets of stories or fan fictions or whatever um, you may call it, just preteen and teenage media. So, the main demographic for Webtoon is preteen to teenage. That's the audience that it's getting. There is also the ability to um, make your own webtoons, which is different from the target demographic because that ranges from, um, dare I say, 12 to like 42. If you can pick up a pen and a pencil, if you can pick up a stylus and a tablet, you can draw something. But my gripe with this series is, first of all, the title. The title is True Beauty. Instead of titling it True Beauty, um, because again, that gives um, the it gives the morals into question. Why name it True Beauty? Why not name it Inner Beauty? And that idea of that inner beauty, your innermost self, who you are, who you truly are, what you truly like. Because you see in the first episode that Julian doesn't actually like cutesy girly stuff, but she instead likes alternative punk rock. She wears like darker goth emo esque clothing, so it could be um, a title based off that. It could be a title based. It could be called what it is. It could be called Western Beauty, and explore how Joyen is having trouble accepting herself and her culture, and is ashamed by a numerous of factors, whether it's from one of the things she tries to change in her um, makeup is her monolid to make it appear like she has a double eyelid that folds. Um, Talking about that and why she has that, or talking with her mom or her older sister, um, telling her brother, "Hey, I don't like when you call me ugly because XYZ 1 2 3." Like, it's very shallow on the in the sense that there could have been more depth instead of it being a pretty contest of who looks the most westernized, who looks the most like I could pass and not get bullied or harassed in school. And mind you, all of the other characters have that same sort of Western beauty. That the idea of pretty in this universe is that you look like a white woman, that you have double eyelids, that you have on makeup, that you don't have and you don't have acne, you don't wear your hair in its natural style, XYZ 1 2 3. But my problem with this is that how popular it is and the commentary when you scroll through the comments. And scroll. I scroll from the top comments to the most recent comments. And everything is just so absorbed with, oh, she, um, like, you can tell by the way pro the protagonist versus the antagonist is written, who you're supposed to root for. But the problem isn't that she's more beautiful than her. It's far deeper beyond skin. It's the problem is that her character. The problem is how she acts. She is very vain and um fake. She is jealous of her and thinks that the main character, Julian, is a competition for her. And instead of tackling that in the most authentic teenage way that could be seen without all of the filters of makeup, quite literally, have it be about teenagers in high school. Um, Both of them not really big on makeup or doing a few things. It could even be that both of them don't wear makeup. The protagonist, Julian, and the antagonist both don't wear makeup. And the main character, the main dude character, the main dude love interest is like, oh, well, I appreciate that you like the finer things and comic books and whatever. I don't see a lot of people from our high school coming here, and talks to her, and the protagonist feels some sort of way and is like, well, if she doesn't look like how everyone else of our high school looks, then how is she getting him and he looks like a supermodel? Maybe that could arise in her. Or maybe something of the antagonist is like, I'm not really into comics. She can have her own sort of like stereotype or um gripe with comics and be like, oh, I'm not really into comics because I read books and comics are just a cop out, because that is seen as critique of comics, whether it's warranted or not. That's another topic. But for the thing that the protagonist could be like, hey, I'm with main love interest, talking with him back and forth, and then the antagonist is like, well, I'm upset because I read books and I write books or some sort of art media. Um, and she's like, oh, I do this. Why is she more interested in him, or why is he more interested in her? Like, why are they interested in each other when I also read books? Like, it could bring something in her. And then she starts getting to know her, not out of like rooted in Western beauty, because that's a real thing that happens in high school. That you It happened to me a few times. Me and my friend ended up like in the same person, and we tried to like one up each other. It could be about that. It could be about in this whole sea of high schoolers where they're nitpicking and attacking you and you feel the pressure and the weight of wearing these clothes that everyone else is wearing, or she not being able to bring her gory horror comic book to school, that she sits in the corner and the antagonist becomes her like close friend, and they bond over that she writes books and she reads books, or that she makes horror-esque gory, or and she reads horror-esque gory comics. So like there could be some sort of fake bond or real bond that is made not on the basis of high schoolers wearing makeup and forcing themselves to wear makeup and feeling like they have to wear makeup. Because again, Joreen, the name, if you can't tell, it's not Jessica, it's not Jake, it's not like, it's not Jacqueline, Jackie, because I've had a few like elementary girls who were named like Jack or Jake for short, like their nickname, and then it was like Jakey or Jacqueline. But the thing is, like, her name is Julian. She's Japanese. Uh, she's this is westernized beauty being forced upon her, forced upon the high schoolers, and that's really putting in a sort of, it's pushing the narrative to the preteens and teens that are reading this, the preteens and teens who are running to Sephora and getting loads and loads and 800, like 80 to $800 worth of drunk elephant or Olay. I remember that was a thing, or Curology for their face, breaking down the natural protective barrier of your skin just to look younger, just to look younger, just to be accepted, just not to have someone in your face constantly poking at your pimples or your zits or your blackheads or your moles or whatever is to be picked at. I remember when I was younger, I had a friend named Alistair, and maybe a few other friends. I knew I had at least one friend, Alistair. Um, my friend Jalen had freckles, but like freckles were a thing to be picked on. Everyone in high school, you'll be picked on regardless of what you have on your face, whether it's acne, whether it's something you naturally have, whether it's your skin color. It's high school, it's a cesspool. But to feed into that idea that Julian and her, like, her bubble, her culture as a East Asian, as Japanese, like, in that atmosphere of being a minority, of being not white, of not looking American enough, that Western beauty, and then having all of these comments underneath stuff and be like, oh, I hope she accepts who she really is and blah blah blah. There's another way to do that except for forcing the idea that she has to wear makeup. And the main thing, my gripe, not only was the title being true beauty and not inner beauty or Western beauty or false beauty. There's other ways to get that across, and deeming that as what she's doing in a negative light, is that the image right next is not Julian in her most authentic self, the truest of her quote unquote true beauty, as the title says. It is her dolled up in loads of makeup, looking not authentic, not how Julian is supposed to get out of this at the beginning. Because back to Webtoon shortly. If you go to story notes, you can say like you can lay out the plan of your story. The beginning is like, these are the characters. What is the character start off with? What is the climax? And then what is resolved? And when you scroll through all 40 plus episodes, mind you, there might be more than 40. I only could get up to 40. Like, see up to 40. They're all pictures of Julian in makeup. Not like, you can see Julian in the comic without makeup, but the majority of the time, either when she goes to school, when she goes out to outings, she is wearing makeup, and that is a horrible, atrocious, disgusting thing to push on teenagers, preteens, who the only thing they're getting away from this in the comments is the idea that I hope she is not able to, like, feel ugly anymore. But not, it's really surface level, it's really shallow. Why does she feel ugly? She never goes to her mom about it, she never tells her brother to stop. And those are conversations that should be had and not be pushed in a way that is very false and misleading. If you want to make a story about true, quote unquote, true beauty, call it what it is. Call it Western beauty. Say that it's very fake. and it's very fake, phony, and satire that the title is True Beauty instead of Western Beauty. And then all of the pictures of Julian and the thumbnails of each quote unquote episode, which is um, equated to similar to chapters, that Julian is seen all dolled up in makeup, and the thumbnails are not of her authentic self or her without makeup. She is a high schooler who wears makeup all the time to class because she feels pressure to. If you're trying to get to the fact that she either doesn't wear makeup or starts wearing the clothes that she likes, then put it somewhere, even in the comfort of her home more. Like, you barely see her at home. It's like mainly at school and the problems with school and the problems with beauty. Make it called Western Beauty and delve into the the problems with that. It could be so deep, and it had wonderful potential in the first like 5 episodes to do better. And I read up to chapter quote unquote episode 14, and I was really disappointed on where it was going. But that's my moral quandary of the series True Beauty on Webtoon.